Perfect. It's 6 o'clock. Being everybody, this is the March meeting for the Town of Berlin Golf Commission. We'll have a call to order here. President or Seb Sena, Commissioner Sena. We have Rob Labar, this is his first time, our first time meeting here. So welcome. Nancy Berger, Jimmy Green, Bill Richards, and Saul Guerrero, and Jim Norton. So we are here. So with that being said, we call to order. It is approximately 6 o'clock exactly. So pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Audience of citizens, we have none. Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. Because it's always been, we have people. We do still have an opening on the commission, so.
Yeah, I reached out to some.
I'm gonna reach out to some people, two younger people, and I think that's good that we have young people on there too, that people that are not affiliated with, the problem we have is that seat has to be filled by somebody that's not in the men's club, women's club, or any of the nine.
Golfers in
Well,
general.
no, that's not true.
Meaning, not in any club.
Yes, correct.
No,
Correct.
I was last year, but I'm not joining.
I understand. So what, are you?
He's not in any of the clubs, so that's.
Oh, so it's even better. So we can have someone that's another member of the club. So you're not a member of the men's club?
No, I was last year, but I'm not joining this year.
Perfect. Okay, well.
When I was listening to the last two town council meetings,
Mhm.
I thought they were gonna appoint someone, but they kept delaying it. So maybe we'll
That's
talk,
him.
no, they were saying another name.
I talked to
Like
Rose.
Lucas.
He said nobody's beating down the door. Let's just say that much.
Maybe I'll ask Kate about it, cause I feel like they delayed it a couple. Like I thought they were gonna say it this week, but they delayed it one more week, they were, they're March.
Really? Okay.
We'll send out an email to members.
Well, no, they have to apply.
I told Bob, he went down there and they just put him in.
I'll talk, you know what, I'll talk to some, people that are younger, I mean, no offense, let's just go around,
I
Saul, you're the youngest guy here.
I mean, can we get a junior in here?
No,
Or
no,
Not junior,
taxpayers,
but like-
no,
over 22?
yeah, that'd be perfect, you know what, somebody less than 30 years old, you know, that's what, that's a
Cause their
taxpayer.
juniors, what, 22 and under, right? So.
Yeah, but you know what, there's guys in our league that are, they're in their 30s.
Right.
You know, it's only in their 30s, you know, blows. You want youth, man, it's a different way of looking at things. So,
Maybe a female,
Huh?
or maybe a female.
I could care less.
But all the-
Yeah, that, don't-
All the
who cares?
females are older, that I know of. Maybe
Well,
Danielle
it's
is
just something-
somebody from
it's just-
Eastern Province.
So it's just something to think of. All right.
Yeah, hey, Jim, I wouldn't put an email out asking for people to submit. Just let them know that it's out there, word of mouth. All right, you know, they can go to the town website and look at all the commissions that have vacancies.
So who would you put it out to, Saul? I mean, Seb.
The town, it's with the town.
Yeah,
The town.
Yes.
There's a couple of town websites, you know.
Well, it's
What
already
do
out there. Commission has openings. It's already out there. So.
But this has Rob and Vince here.
You're not-
That's,
Okay, so we'll take care of, right.
we'll have to update Kate Wall on that.
Can you email Kate Wall? Because I said you were a member of the senior men's club to her before.
Yeah.
So do you have Kate's email?
Yeah.
Just email her, tell her, please click that, correct that. All right,
Yeah, I'll do it.
all right, for approval of minutes, has everybody had a chance to look at the approval of the minutes from the prior month
Yes.
that were here? You have to recuse yourself.
Yes, I am.
Does anybody have any questions on it? Any adjustments, corrections?
No.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Okay, so with that being said, Seb Senior makes a motion to accept.
Second,
Bill Richards, everybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So
Mhm.
it's so unanimous, and Rob's gonna have to recuse himself, Alina, so with that being said. Here we go, anybody? Good, we're good, old business. Anything for old business that we had, on there, what was coming from last month? Anything from last month? I will say this, okay, there's a couple things for old business. We have, on there, we have governance for future donations that we need to deal with going forward. But I see you also have, I don't know if you were thinking about doing that under your tree donation or not, Saul.
We can continue it, because there's, I think, a request soon.
For coming in. Okay, so that, and we really need to kind of think about this, going forward. I mean, because we want consistency in what we're having. So you just don't have, you know, blue and then black and then white, you know what I mean? You want consistency with what we're trying to do with the course. So even with the benches, you know, you give people an option. It's one or two options based on how much you want to spend, right? I mean, or you have them all the same. I saw we're looking at a no maintenance, basically. So you're looking at probably Trex with stainless steel or something to that effect, right? That way it has to stay up all year round and not have to worry about that. But when you're looking at this also, you have to look, it's not just the bench, it's the pavers, right? And that have to go in there, or the foundation that has to go in there, right? And what we're trying to do and for the beautification, but that can't be, you know, our maintenance staff doing this all the time, right? You know what I mean? So it has to include, well, and this is something, it's very serious. So you have to kind of judge a price on this, or get a price on this thing, that includes everything, soup to nuts, it's boom, it's everything. Here it is.
Try to keep it maintenance free.
Yeah, and that's a whole, truly, and so if we're all in agreement on that, I will take some pictures of things that I saw. I actually took some pictures of things that I saw. Where they have that, when we were down in Florida. I thought that was very interesting. And they're out year round. Obviously, it is 6:07, Mark Beering just doing this, okay. And I saw that, it's very interesting, but it was very consistent, hole after hole. So here's what you have. It appears that we try to do that with some of them, with the pavers you have and some of the seats that you have, right? You have the one for Ryan Lee, 116, you have one for Billy McCabe that's over on 8. I'm sure there's quite a few others that are out there but you know, as long as we're on the same page with this thing, it's like, you know, do you want to stick with that, or do you want to start looking at the Trex? Something a little bit more long term, because there's metal on those other ones, and those are gonna, I mean, eventually those are gonna wear down, right? I mean, they're gonna rust out, it's inevitable, right? So that's phase one, that's one thing to think about. You have other people that are thinking about trees, right? Then people want donations, so she, I don't want her, I don't, you know, she wants her, but whatever, and that's fine, it's fine.
We need more ornamental trees.
We don't need pines,
No, and they have.
but this is where it's gonna come onto you guys, where you're gonna have to say, listen. You want a certain caliber, right, a minimum caliber, right, whatever, you don't want twigs, right, I'm not gonna go to Home Depot and buy a fruit tree or something to that effect. But you're gonna have to come up with a plan, you know, a long-term plan, looking at this thing, because it's, you're looking at 30 years down the road, right? So this, and the other part to that thing is, you know, the plaque, whether it's a plaque or something like that, I don't know, but, you know, those things are, sometimes you can't see half of them, right? There's one for Solex, one of the Solex that was over on 4. I didn't even know it was there, and then it got turned over, this and that, so. These are things that, and I don't have the answers for you guys, I don't, but this is something that we need to put forward as a commission, that, listen, here is, if you wanna donate, here it is, right? And, you know, Bill, you came up with the idea of the plaque, I mean, there's gonna be a couple different things, options, depending on what you wanna spend, I mean, I think that's really what it's gonna come down to, right? I mean, that's really what it's all about.
But my thing, if we're taking trees down, why do we wanna put more trees up?
Well, the trees we're taking down are the pines, we're not taking down, well, the other,
Specific trees, like you say pines or.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like. Look at the course and where you're gonna put the tree at, I mean, because you're playing the course, and now is the tree gonna come in place, or the tree's gonna be to the side? This is what you have to think about.
well, that's what we're saying, that's exactly what we're talking about right now, so
Yeah.
this is
Gotta have a
plan.
plan.
This is their plan, I mean, we're not gonna do this.
No.
This is your plan, so that, well, your guys' vision for the course going down the road, so if I'm buying a tree, the fact that we may not need a tree, I mean, but long term, right now, no, but long term, you're gonna say, listen, I'm looking at this is the tree that I'm looking at, and here's why I want to plant it, you know, because we need something, we've taken down a lot of trees, but when you look at this stuff, it's not looking at, you know, right now. You have to look, you know, 20 years down the road, or 30 years down the road, because I have some I call them swamp maples that they're, you know, that I bought. And these things grow, man, I mean, they love the water, I mean, suck that stuff up like it's nothing, but. They're, you know, they're hardy, they're very sturdy trees, they're very,
Right.
you know what I mean?
I think the last two we planted were off the course, it was more like around the clubhouse. Cause it is kind of tough to find room
But,
on the course
number-
these days.
On number 11, I think they put a small,
Yeah, they put, look at,
there's a pine there, there's a pine, a small pine there, on number 11.
that's by the 150,
By the
it looks
150,
like it's 150, and
Yeah,
we were getting away from that, putting the bushes by the 150s, you know what I mean, cause.
They
We have
got
some
a bit of a lot of them.
Yeah.
there.
You saying there's a new tree there?
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
little small pine there.
Yeah.
By the 150 on number.
Somebody made, they could have been someone's Christmas tree, they made, you know,
Maybe that was a donation.
Donation, yeah, I think we have the donation.
I don't know, but it's just something to think about. And I don't, we're not gonna solve this tonight,
Yeah.
everybody, we're not, but it's just,
I
It's
just
gotta be in the
like
back of your head.
Idea of
Yeah.
levels of donation, like, cause not everyone's gonna want to donate the same amount or want to donate the same amount, so
Mhm.
maybe the highest levels like a bench. Lowest level is like apply.
the plan, right, you're gonna have the clock, right?
Yeah, I know, we're trying to catch up with what we have on the course, like if you play number one. The one on the left, we did last year, like right away on the left, almost by the ladies team.
Yeah,
We redid that last year, so we have a couple we're gonna redo this in April. But we have to catch up with what's on the
Right.
course.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna happen overnight, but even, you know what, even think about this, Saul, I mean, and I'm just spitballing and stuff, I am. You have a, you know, like a giving tree, so, not a tree per se, but just for beautification of the course, listen, we're gonna put this in some, and, you know, this, we're going to Paris about. Putting a reserve or something for beautification, that way you have. I don't know if you want to buy flowers, I don't know, I'm just spitballing this thing, you know what I mean, but you have the ability to do that. You know,
I think when we're making that list, one of the things we really should consider are the bricks.
The what, oh, the bricks,
Yeah.
well, that's,
Because that might be a less expensive item. For people.
well,
you just only have to weed back.
where do you usually see the bricks, like on the course or?
No,
Yeah,
no,
you
no,
get
area.
like around, could be
I see.
around something and they're a donation, but it's like enclosed with a.
How do you keep putting, but every time you put them in there, you have to get we had that at our church.
No, what you do is you have all the bricks there and you take them out as you need to mark them. You don't just, put them in and then start filling. You make
I
the
see.
area
Yeah,
and then you take it, if, when somebody wants to donate, you'll take one that isn't marked. You mark it, you replace it.
Then you re-cement it in
Yeah.
there.
Exactly.
oh, whatever, all right, that's,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but it's something, part of this is that, the onus is gonna fall on you, we could do. I could throw pictures out there, what I've seen for different things as far as the benches go. And, I'll do two of them, and that way everybody can look at that and, go from there, but there's the tree thing. So I think it's gonna fall upon your guys with calipers and the types of trees that you're looking at and. But then it's gonna be, someone's gonna come in to do that, the owners can't keep falling on. On your staff to do this stuff, you know what I mean, that's not. It's nice, it really, don't get me wrong, it's great, but it takes away from other things that have to be done,
I think,
Right.
yeah.
that makes sense.
It's kind of like what Don Bouvet and that committee's doing with that high school sign.
Yeah.
They're making their own budgeted money to put flowers up,
Same thing.
Yeah.
that's.
Same thing,
big
exactly,
bucks there.
that's exactly what we're talking about, it's like, you wanna do it, that's fine, but here it is, and it's not just the bench, it's. There's excavation that has to be done, there's leveling, there's, foundations, whatever, so. Just,
There's the maintenance of it. right?
and the maintenance, well,
Because there's,
you're trying to make,
lichens growing on some of the benches.
well, that's.
The what?
I don't know how we're gonna deal with that one, I think once it's in, we own it,
Yeah,
so.
oh, yeah.
but-
But yeah, it's a maintenance item, because it looks like.
Well,
crap.
pretty much,
Eleven?
pretty much the benches that I seen around here, are pretty much taken care of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that, but like Ryan Lee's, this is on 16, they got the.
Yeah.
The wood chips here.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's pretty much taken care of, but, and that, something like that, because you don't really have to take much You might see a weed every now and then, but most people, if I see a weed, I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
You know, and call it a day, keep moving, you know, but yeah, try to do the simplest
If you put
possible,
down
but
the-
then number.
Maybe 11, that's what 11.
Love it, yeah, it's in the shades.
Well, that's why you like it. See, that is- unless that sun's hitting it, you're gonna have it.
Right,
Right,
so
right.
it's a shadow.
But just on number 10, on the left-hand side, there's a big tree on the end there. This guy's been complaining about it because they got a plaque there for his father, so, and that needs to be cut up.
No, that's early on 10. Like right off the tee left, right?
Yeah, it's on the left side.
Yeah, John Wissick.
Yeah, it's a big
He's
tree,
on our list.
Yeah, okay. but he's been hollering for years.
And that's fine, but you know, it's great that we take the money and do this stuff, but there's the upkeep, so.
Exactly.
You know, and that's, it's a double-edged sword, right? So if you want it, whether, you know, then you own a piece of it too, right?
But then back in the day, that,
You know, that's just the way it is.
but then back in the day, that, when that tree probably was planted, it was planted small and it just grew.
Well, that's why.
And nobody paid, you know, they paid attention to it,
Right.
and it just grew over.
Well, that's why I said this on, and this is not, you're not looking at right now, you're looking at 30 years down the road, but what's gonna be. And you're not gonna put the plaque right next to the,
You're gonna push it off.
you're gonna push it out.
This way,
Because
this
it's
is
gonna
better,
grow, right?
this is better than the
Yeah,
tree,
oh, yeah.
so you can see that that's why they did it wrong.
And then something else to think about is like giving, like, you know, I call it the giving tree or the giving plaque, whatever you wanna do, and, you know, I remember, listen, the Elks Club has one of those things, right? You have your little name on there, on the, you know, whatever, on the wall and,
Right.
you know, whatever. It's just, this is the stuff onus that's gonna be on us to come up with and think about and do, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that was one thing on our old business, and some of the other, we'll get into some of the other stuff later on, but, all right. Anything else, guys, and ladies? Anything else? Old business, anything else? Seb? You awake? What's the score?
Over here.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, no problem. All right.
Peter?
Yeah.
Was he talking?
Mark, can you hear us?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a bobblehead right there. Look.
Yeah,
Is that really Mark?
that's Mark.
Yeah.
The heck you doing with this thing?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was watching the Oregon game. What's the score of that one?
81-68.
All right, new business, adult range membership.
So we had, someone approach us about having an adult range plan. We had it, you know, just as recent as 2 years ago, we took it out last year and some of the main concerns or my concerns were, you know, range ball sharing or, you know, basically, you're using your membership for others.
Subsidize other people, right?
Yeah. I mean, we just had a year of à la carte, basically, right, because we really didn't sell any range memberships other than the four.
The
for
junior,
the
right,
kids.
right, the kid.
Four of them, I think $900 worth.
Mhm.
But we had a good year for what, 27K for the range. I'm not saying that's a guarantee every year, but it's nice to have like 25K in your pocket every year, right? Do you guys think having a plan, offering a plan would, how would that affect that?
How does that work, the adult?
So,
range
I'll-
membership?
Well,
I made up like a mock, whatever, that they would have to fill out, there's pricing there. So an adult plan, you know, it could be $375, $350, those are your junior options. Your
Oh, okay.
rules would be one large bucket a day unless the range is not busy and approved,
No, that's,
you just want. to
it's
do
one a day,
large.
man, that's it, man, that's it,
Yeah.
there's no.
not 10.
yeah, because that's gonna cost money down the road, because that's gonna,
Yeah.
people gotta pick it.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean, to me, I think $375, if
Well,
they
you
wanna
can't-
pay that, it's good, if they wanna pay $375 to buy.
It's
a
about
membership,
41 large.
But if they wanna buy it. Let's try it and just go for it.
So how many days of golf do we have, I mean, roughly?
Well, it's 7 days, the golf. You stop.
9 months.
Is it, no, it's not.
Oh, well, you'd be stuck for 8 months.
So you have 240 days roughly, right, just at 30 a day.
Yeah.
Or, you know. So it's 375 the right number? Maybe it should be 4.
Or 50, whatever it is.
No, let's do two, let's start out with 375, give it a shot. Let's play with it.
No,
Because I
you
don't
can
think,
always go on, you can always come down, you don't have to go, you can't go.
because see, because my thing is, if we start at 500, you start at 500.
500.
And
That's
then,
a
that's a lot more.
500.
Yeah, but 400 is a lot more. Okay, so I would say, start at 300. We might get a lot of people, we will get that revenue, probably get a little bit more revenue. I think 400 is gonna be a high number. Because I think the three something,
375.
I think play with the 375, start with the 375, and see where we go from there.
Mark, you said you had it at what, 300?
Mark at it. Mark, what'd you have it at?
When I did, 2 years ago, when I had the range, it was 300,
See?
and I only sold about 6 of them.
See?
Oh,
So if you do.
Yeah, but the problem is people are gonna hit the bucket and just leave it up.
That's
right?
$1,800. You know what I mean? I think if you sold 10 of them at 350, there's 3,500. That's pretty good
That's
chunk of your 27,000
mhm.
with only 10 people.
You don't think more people would buy it?
I mean, I'm just saying, if you had 10 sales, that's $3,500. That's only 10 people. How many people use the range? I'm sure hundreds over the course of the year.
Well, you can't tell people they can't share their balls, right? Or they can't leave them there, right? I mean, you can't do that.
No,
You can't-
but-
you can't- I know, the problem that you have though is. How can I say this? When people were taking the balls home with them, they didn't finish the bucket, they were taking them home with them, right?
Yeah,
And so that, you can't have that, right? You can't have that, right? It's like, this is not going to dinner and taking one order home, right? It doesn't work that way, right? This is for that.
Prevent-
but
I
you
don't
can't,
know.
you can't police that. You
And
can't say-
you see it, you have to say, listen, this, no, that's gotta stay. I've seen people, I would say that, I've seen people and they had, you know, that big. That thing, I had one in his trunk, Well, what, you know, like.
And truthfully, people bring their own, people will walk on the range and bring their own balls and hit their own balls.
That's fine, whatever.
And that's how it's, but it's, we collect them, we bring them, we put them back out there.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're bringing them to us, so that way we don't have to buy balls, but.
I mean, I don't think there's any harm in putting the rules on paper.
No, that's fine. I agree.
Enforcing it could be tough,
Right.
Mhm.
But
but
if
at
we see,
least when you enforce it, it's in writing.
No,
Right.
not
Right.
refrain, not
so if we
refrain.
see somebody do something wrong.
Oh, no,
Right.
What's that?
No sharing of the.
well, you can't say shit, you can't say
You
that.
can't say that, just say, if we see it, then you can go ahead.
But you can't take, there will be no taking of range balls, you know, remove them for, you know, for another session, right?
Yeah, right.
No removal.
You can't say sharing.
No.
So
you
what
can't.
did you, Jim, what did you agree on a dollar amount?
Oh, yeah, well,
Let's do the 375, so 375.
I think 375 is too high.
I thought it was too low.
What do you?
It's too high.
Well, Mark had it for 300, right?
Right, I would go 350
Okay,
to
so
start
Mark,
off.
that was a couple of years ago, right? Few years ago down the road. How many years ago, Mark?
2.
2 years ago. So 375 is reasonable.
But I mean, the price of range balls has gone up, obviously, like anything else.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I
so-
think 350, my opinion, 350 would probably be what I would charge if I still had the range for something like
Okay.
that.
And I agree with that, Mark, 350.
I think,
Sorry, Jim,
That's all right.
what do you say, no removal?
I said, no removal of any of range balls off the property, you know, for another session, you know. How are you?
The biggest thing I had a problem with was people putting them in their cars
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
gosh.
and not using them.
Right.
You know, like using them for 2 sessions, basically.
All right, but you're right, but when you stop to look at it, they may take maybe a half of a bucket. And then they'll probably come and get another bucket, but there's still that person that he bought a pass anyway, so.
As long as the bucket returns.
And the bucket returns, sooner or later, it's
Is that
gonna
what you're
return.
saying?
Yeah, it's gonna change.
I would just say, I would put the rule in that the buckets and the range balls have to stay on property. Like they can't take them home and then come back the next day.
Must stay on property.
However, you're gonna, so how are you gonna word that?
Buckets in,
Not may, will, no, it's will. Man, you're too wishy-washy, so. Holy cow.
I think
I'm just kidding.
buckets and balls must stay on property.
Yeah, that's good.
They can rent the locker if they want to put the balls in.
There's no lockers to rent. Where?
The locker's in the men's room.
Play showers?
Yeah, there's no lockers, let's do that.
Golf course property, still stay around.
Alright, so how many for 350?
I'm in favor of that.
350?
Yeah.
Go for 350, how many? 70, Rob, Jimmy, how many for 375? One, you know?
I'm gonna go for a lot.
I go higher. I
No, I
don't
know.
say,
Yeah, I'll change.
you can always go low, you can always go lower, it doesn't sell.
So easy.
So we're in a tie.
Buckets and balls.
So what do you think?
I'd say 375. You know, and then you've only had one person ask for this thing.
So let's, as I said, let's do 350,
We said that,
and then next year we can go to 375. Let's keep it low, let's keep it low.
Was there some demand
We
for
have to,
this?
we have to,
For
listen, we gotta.
maybe a handful of people.
Yeah.
Alright.
We're early in the season to where you will get full value right now. We're talking in 2 months and they give us some quarrel about it. Maybe that's when we talk about,
We're not gonna lower it. 375.
especially right now where it's like full value.
Yep.
We're just starting to see.
Okay.
Do any other courses in the area have this kind of thing, or?
Cause I, that's like, that's what, it's just property, my.
Not sure.
I didn't do any research, but
But see,
Like Stanley has a huge
I
driving
don't think
range.
they would have.
But see,
No,
Rob,
they don't, they
Rob,
don't.
but see, Rob, the
They're
other
all
way-
hard, right?
the other way of looking at this, if you came in, you buy the pass for 375, all right? And if you don't buy the pass, whatever it costs you for a larger meeting, you gotta come and buy that larger meeting.
Right.
So now you gotta make a decision to yourself. Do I wanna pay the 375 or do I wanna pay $5 or $10 or $15 every time I walk in?
Right.
Okay, so a lot of people would rather pay the 375, come in and give me a large bucket, let me walk the door. So they got a choice. They can make the choice.
Well,
They have to make it. We'll make it. Right? So we say 375.
So the,
Nine.
Yeah,
Nine.
$9.
Right,
I mean,
and that's on.
if it seems too expensive for people, we could always lower it. right?
Exactly. it's
And then
lower.
then you
we'll lower it next year, not this year.
Yeah. or
We're not lowering it this year, no.
If you go to Cody's.
Well, I mean, if everybody comes up bitching that it's, yeah.
$25 at $40 a large bucket.
Well, you get 42 large.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Jim,
Yes,
Jim, how much is a small bucket? How much is a large bucket?
5 and 9.
5 and 9.
$5 for the small and how much for the large?
9.
I think that's too cheap.
So it's 42 large buckets.
Alright, so they get a bargain.
They're getting a heck of a bargain.
Well, also, if they don't wanna pay it, that means they're gonna have to buy a card for the year, which might be to our
Yeah,
benefit.
I think,
Yeah, right.
the single buckets should be raised, the price for those should be raised,
Well- Not yet.
Well, we don't offer.
That's.
We're the one thing that-
just to make that feel more attractive, you know what I mean?
Well, no, that's
Well,
not what
we
you're
can't
trying.
do
I
that.
need to put back.
Well, he makes a point, but we can't do it this year. I see what he's saying.
We want to put the rate to the
Yeah,
play.
making it look like it's.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because it's like you said, the large bucket is $9. So
Sorry,
if you said,
About 40.
yeah.
right, but if you said, if someone came and bought a single bucket, and so I think with, in Cromwell, it's a large bucket is 11, but he doesn't, the ones over there not that great.
Yeah, but we also have top tracer.
And he got top chase, right?
We're not.
But he's $11 still,
It
for
doesn't
for a
matter.
large bucket, but still,
But it doesn't matter.
any place else is like $15 for a large bucket, $15 or
Right.
$20 for a large.
With-
But they're getting a bargain here, they're getting a bargain.
Hey, Jim, I think you need to specify also that, the 375 is for one individual, not one or two members.
Oh, no, we know, they know that,
Yeah,
that's
it's
what it's all about.
It's an application.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, you one large bucket per day,
Right.
and the only thing you have to work, is the wording of.
Yeah.
That it is for that, there's no removal of these balls and there's, no putting them in your, and that's what anytime when you're buying a bucket of balls,
It doesn't leave property.
well, but anybody coming, not even this, but anybody coming, any customer, right? You leave them, right? That's not my, if you don't finish, you just leave them, and that's what I do, if I,
Right.
so. I mean,
So
I don't-
what happens if they take it and they take it home?
They get
Oh,
Well,
suspended.
then you know what, I mean, then.
do they lose the
Then you
membership?
get a warning, and then otherwise, it's, you know what, if you wanna think about it, that's the property.
Everybody takes balls. I mean, if you look last year, everybody's taking balls home.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it myself. I've seen it where people
Well,
are
you guys-
taking, put it in
you
a
guys
plastic
confront
bag.
You know what?
We,
Well, you.
the ones we confronted, you know, we just asked them politely, you know, hey, we understand you didn't finish it. But, you know, these shouldn't leave property, cause it doesn't
These
give us
don't-
the right, you know, image right now. Cause we're gonna think right away, you know, that is, one, it's not your leftover, that you might be taking it from the range anyway,
How do
so.
they respond?
They just say, okay,
Oh.
and we, you know, I can't say we caught them twice, so maybe it worked, but at least, you know, if you do see it, just
No, no.
gentle reminder, you know.
So right now, we're talking about a large bucket, right? So,
So any usage of the rain funds.
okay,
Yeah.
so. Then if a guy, he's paying $3.75, he knows he's not gonna hit a large bucket, then he should just walk and say, give me a small bucket. That way he'll finish that up, so you don't have to walk.
No,
in.
they're saying even for a normal customer, if they don't finish their golf balls, they just leave it there anyway. And so what makes them a different, so we're gonna take that off. We're just gonna say that it shouldn't leave property.
Okay, and if we catch somebody, we just say, the balls are not supposed to leave,
So,
And that's all you can say? but that's all you can say to them, and you don't want it to be a fight.
Nah, no,
No, cause some people get crazy, but.
Yeah,
That's if balls will stay on golf.
Right, we do the best we
Removal,
can.
removal of balls,
for buckets.
Property is
of
prohibited.
of range balls.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I take the buckets too.
Really?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and
And or
in golf
bucket.
tournament, in golf tournament days, the team will, the guy's got a bucket, they'll leave it for his partner to hit some balls.
And
That's fine, no, that's fine, as long as they're being hit.
Yeah,
And as long as they stay on property, so that day they can pick them.
Now, it
Removal
says-
of range balls,
can't see
and
it
or
from
buckets
property.
for another session. Is prohibited.
Sounds pretty.
Okay. Violations of the, well, may result in suspension, that's fine, that's fine, you're right, that may, that's fine.
You're right, but you should say golf course.
Yeah, that's what I said, because then say, well, it's in my property,
It is a golf
car
course.
is my
Okay,
property.
from the golf course.
Timberland property.
Golf course property.
Yeah.
Okay,
Timberland.
okay, fine.
Alright.
You know where we're coming with that one, right?
Yeah.
Perfect, all right, good. With that being said, that's fine. As far as, yeah, and as far as sharing, there's nothing you can do about that, no, that's just the way it is, right? If two people go and say, let's split a bucket of balls, you can do that anyway, right? So, all right. Golf group payments, I don't know what that is.
That's more from me. So. Just see if we can get help with when we have groups of more than 4 on a T sheet. Rather than them paying one at a time. Maybe we get a lump sum payment from the group rather than,
Well, how do you know who's a resident and who's not?
most of the time, these groups all pay the same. Cause they're,
Oh, like a tournament?
like a tournament or an event.
Mm.
Not more so like. Random guy made 4 tee times, it's more like, let's say you have, like a bachelor's party, something where you have 6 groups.
Or like outings?
So you wanna
outings.
you wanna give them a discount?
No, we just want a lump sum payment
For the group.
For the group.
Oh, the whole group.
Yeah, because you want a down payment.
Sometimes like on Thursdays, your Niners are checking in, but then we have a whole busload of. From a group coming in as well, so the line doubles up. We feel maybe that outing can all pay in one check.
Mhm.
Which some outings do already,
That's fine.
or some of these little
Whatever you're
groups.
gonna do, that's fine, that doesn't, why does that have to come to us, that's fine, man.
Well,
But would you-
we bring policies up to you,
That's, so whatever the policy
Would
is,
you have to put them all in the computers?
well, they're usually on the computer already.
Oh,
So we're talking about maybe like 20 guys, like you're talking about,
We've
I
had.
I would say more than 4 groups, cause you can make 4 tea times, right?
Right,
So we wanna differentiate it from just your normal.
I see what you're saying, like, on a Saturday, there's not a tournament going on, you got, say. 8 groups came in or something like that, the money paid up front, so the only thing they gotta do is come in and get the key. And go.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how do you know who's a resident and who's a non-resident?
They're all,
Well, no, because they're gonna pay all that one thing,
they're all non-resident, that's what I said too, but they're all
Right.
non-residents.
They're not resident, but you're gonna collect the money up, you can collect the money up front, or you said you're gonna collect it up front, or you're gonna take a partial?
Usually, there's times where we look how many they are, and then the one guy writes us a check,
Right,
you know, after we check everyone in,
yeah,
you know,
For one lump sum.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I can care less, that's what,
So that's fine.
as long as you know who's resident, who's not resident, it doesn't
Right.
matter.
Do you think that's feasible, Mark, or is that a pain, or?
Mark,
It's on you.
Yeah, so I just don't know how you distinguish who needs to do that and who doesn't. Because I mean, we have like a group on Tuesday of 20 to 24 that play every Tuesday, and some are season pass holders and some are not.
Well,
You
those
know,
like floor ups, right? That's what you're saying?
yeah.
I guess if they're all the same rate and we could do it, that's where it would help, you know, if it was like, you know, eight tea times worth of $45 each. You know, just getting one lump sum check would,
You're talking about the
help.
people that come from, the shoreline, and come on,
Well, we have
Whatever.
many groups like
Okay.
that, it's not just one particular group, we have many groups.
Mhm.
And then most of them, like, when we have, the CT amateurs, we check them in and then one guy gives us a check. Right, so that helps us out when we have them, cause our lines don't bundle up. or-
they'll be running out the door.
Right, but if it's possible,
and however you can do, you know.
Or you run,
Well,
one
let's
credit
check-
card and
or a check, someone writes a
Yeah.
check. or-
Right,
it's our some transaction fee down.
So probably to be the best way to do it, then, so
No,
me,
it's
the
not
way I'm
hard,
thinking,
it's a
the best way to do it, if you're gonna have it done like that way, just have the guy write one check, so it just covers everybody before they walk through the door.
But
Do it that way,
only if they're all the same fee,
right,
right, cause like Mark says, if, like a +4 group, we have a kind of like a small league on Tuesdays. Some of them are season pass holders, so you can't just get a lump sum check, like some leagues, you can't get a lump sum check, cause like yours, I think. Cause there's different,
You have residents and non-residents.
so you have everyone.
But you know ahead of time what's going on, he'll write you a check, because here it is, right? I mean, that's. On our Monday leagues, you already know what's what, right? Who's a resident, who's a season pass holder, who's not. Non-resident, senior, it's all broken out, and he'll just, here's a sheet, so you know who's coming in, and here's a dollar amount.
Yeah, I mean, I guess as long as they're paying the same rate, you know, and we can get a lump sum check, that would help.
But so long as you can identify. You know, the correct.
No problem doing that. I just I just think like what happens if they say no? Would I just cancel their outing? Like what if
No.
it's not feasible to
No, no,
them? Because I mean we've already
This
we've
is an
already
op-
booked. What's that?
This is just an option that he's asking for. It's not mandatory.
Oh no, we do that though. I mean I think you're talking make it mandatory, correct?
No,
I mean,
well, yeah, what, you gonna add?
Matt,
We
yeah,
already give them the option to pay individually or a group. So I think what you're saying is you want to make it mandatory. Am I wrong?
I mean, we see it, it's done both ways, right? Like, so if we could have it done just one way, yeah, that would be great.
What,
I'm just saying, how should the response be when they come back and they say, well, we've never
rather-
done that, we're not gonna do that. Do I just tell them to go somewhere else? Like what?
no. You know,
I
when
mean, that's never the answer, you know, but there's no harm in like asking.
you could ask.
Well, that's
I
what I
mean-
was thinking, when they make the tea times, ask them, you know,
Right.
we prefer one check for the group.
Right,
And if they can accommodate us, great.
If they can't, then they can't.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So not mandatory, but we prefer they pay with one payment.
Yeah, it's not mandatory. Correct.
Gotcha.
you
Alright.
can't force them to do,
no,
you know, with like a certain type of payment.
No, but you know, if you put the nugget in their brain,
Exactly.
you know, they might be willing to do it just to be a nice guy, you know?
And plus it would help them, cause they don't have to stand online.
Right.
But the guys do be standing there.
Yeah, you can go right to your cart, here's a cart.
We could have it ready for them.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you get a group like that, that should be like your first comment, you know? We really like one check for the entire group, you know, if you can do that.
And but only again, if it's all, they're all the same rate and
Yeah.
it's
Right.
feasible.
Well, they could figure it out if there were different rates, you know?
Well,
That's their
you're-
problem,
Some,
yours.
You just gotta figure it out eventually.
No,
Yeah,
but
well-
but they're gonna come in with the right number.
yeah,
So if you got 30, so you got 3 or
Yeah.
4 guys that live in town, then you know that, but everybody else is from out of town, so you know that price of poker goes up, right?
Alright, so.
thank you.
I would just say, recommend that the starter counts how many players there are though.
Right.
Just cause they
Okay.
can tell you I got 22 and they got 24, you know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah.
trying to think about what could happen.
You have the names, you tick them off, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm just saying the starter's gotta pay attention, that's all,
Yes.
cause he's not
Yeah.
getting individual receipts anymore, you know?
Right.
correct,
That's right.
but you already have it booked up and he already knows who's going on what, right? It's already booked up by tea time.
That and sometimes we get a list, like CTM gives us a list, so the star has it,
Got it.
so they
You just
check.
pick them off, just check
As
them
long
off.
as there's a foursome on the
Got
team, you know, that's.
Well, you wanna know who they are too, but that, yeah, I agree, okay. All right, tree donation, so,
Jimmy Green brought up that there might be a future donation.
For Lisa Russick, right, Mark? For the tree,
Mark,
Mark?
No, not.
you muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Lisa brought up about maybe doing.
I
a
think
tree
there's
design.
gonna be 2 donation requests, like they wanna make a donation, there's gonna be 2 actually, so. The sooner you can think about what you wanna do as a commission, the better.
What
Cause
does
I
she wanna
know
do?
the talk was you don't wanna do a bench and a tree, right? So
We can't, no, we
she just
can't.
wants to,
No, no,
she
no.
wanted to donate it. What's that?
That's not what we said, we're trying to standardize what we're doing.
Right,
Yeah,
We're trying to standardize benches and standard. Benches we're trying to standardize, you have one of 2 options, or basically one option, here's what they're all gonna be, so you have. Continuity throughout the whole course, you don't have one looking this way, one looking that way, another looking this, way. No, you want the.
Yeah.
You know, everything's the same, here it is, right, that's one, and as far as the trees go, the donations, we're talking about a long-term plan that Solid gonna have to develop. As far as, so, you know, here's the trees that we're looking at for the course. Right, and the caliper, it's a minimum caliper, here's the caliper that we're looking at. And then here's where we're gonna be planting them, right? So right now, there's maybe 5, 10 trees that are available for the next, 5 years or whatever, I don't know. You know, but that's what we were talking about, Mark.
Okay, well, Lisa Rustic wants to donate a tree then.
Okay,
okay.
So I guess that's what
Okay.
she wants to donate a tree.
she wants
For
a tree
John.
for John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it be a crabapple tree for John?
So, I mean, I just want to
I'm only
pass it
kidding,
along.
I
I
love
don't
John,
know.
I love,
Their time, when-
yeah, what is she looking at?
Is there a time on it or anything, Mark?
I mean, she just said, how do I go about doing it? So
Got it.
I wasn't sure we were doing trees anymore. So if we
Yeah.
are,
we're doing.
who should she go to? Saul?
So,
Flowering.
we'll
Okay.
sort it Where we'll.
yeah.
And you said,
What type of tree?
and you said you had another person too, right?
Yeah, there's another person, but I don't know. I just heard through somebody, so it wasn't through me direct. So I don't. I'll
Okay.
wait for that one.
We're trying, Mark, you understand what we're trying to do, we're trying to standardize things, like, listen, if you wanna donate a tree or a bench or something to that effect. Here it is, here's the list of what's available, right?
Yeah.
It all depends on what you wanna
Like
donate.
pack.
And then, yeah, exactly, like, that's what we're trying to do. So that way, there's continuity, that's all.
So yeah, when you have that list, I'd be happy to pass it along to her.
Perfect,
Oh, good.
all right,
Matter of fact, we should post this up.
we don't have it yet.
No, I mean, when we do it, have a list,
Like different.
do something, put it on the board, and this is what we have, somebody pass away. You want to do so they could just come to you.
Well, I mean, we have a lot of work to do on this thing,
You know-
they can have the giving tree or the giving plaque or whatever you want, you know what I mean, if you want the bricks or whatever. We'll have different options, it's.
Yeah.
So we're all, everybody has to think about that, right? And then, get comments to me and I'll distribute them and that way we can go from there.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Savvy, nod your head. Just so we know you're hearing it. Okay, thank you.
So maybe, as far as the kind of trees that we might be interested in, maybe Jerry's the one that should,
Well, you're gonna have to work with him to figure that out.
that should figure that out and give you a list.
He would, definitely be some help. with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
won't be on your shoulders, it's,
I'm not saying that you have to do it, but that,
No.
you know what I mean.
He,
Well, basically, you could probably, to whoever deals with
he
trees,
picked the last two, the one from the two ladies, so.
right, if we dealt with one place where they sell trees, we try to keep it, you want something that's not gonna cost, that kill you, we try to keep it up.
Well,
maintained.
that's what I'm saying, you want a minimum, here's the caliper,
Exactly.
there's a minimum caliper we're looking at,
Right.
right? And
Here's the
so,
cost.
and here's the cost,
Cost,
right?
exactly.
right,
Here's the minimum, so you could go higher than that, whatever you want,
Right.
but that's it, right?
Then you have a package for, tree, you have a package for bench, you have a package for
Brick,
whatever.
flat, whatever it's gonna be.
or flats, or,
Yeah,
that's exactly
yeah.
what we should do.
I'll come up with some, so in our, even before our next meeting, I'll email it to everyone, so.
Perfect, all right, very good, okay. Front entrance sign,
So everyone's been talking about trying to update that sign for rent for Park Valley Course.
yeah,
Planning and zoning told me that it's already it's already exceeding the size. The limit of the size.
what the sign that we have now?
Yeah, so it's not modifiable.
So the sign that we got there now is not,
It's already exceeding the size of capacity.
Really.
I don't think.
where's this sign?
Right on Sunnyvale Road.
On the left.
I was talking with some people,
This is the sign.
at the restaurant about getting a sign at the street for Rusty's Restaurant.
Yeah, that's.
Is that what we're talking
That's what
about?
we're talking about.
Okay, and that's gonna happen?
No, well,
No,
what he's, what
Or
Saul's
we have to
saying,
make it smaller?
Whatever you would have to redo things, I think, to.
so the sign we have, it already, what I think what Saul is saying is the sign that's there now exceeds the,
Now the space,
the ordinance or whatever, the ordinance for the signs, that, established by the town, so it already, it's already larger than the ordinance allows, correct?
She mentioned, I think we tried to change the sign years ago. And
I got no idea.
it was the same story where.
No, but I don't know about changing the sign, but the thing is,
Well,
what I'm,
let's keep it the same size, make something.
well, no, but with the.
No, what are you trying to
This
say?
is what we got, right, this is what the sign gonna look like. So now I'm saying, if you're gonna reset the sign is here now, right? Only thing you do is you put
You make
a
it big.
smaller sign, no, you're not making it bigger. You're making, it's still the same thing, and you're just putting that underneath the sign.
yeah, you put like those hooks in.
Right, that's all you're doing, that's what, you're not changing
Take it
anything,
up.
you're just putting
Let
a
it
sign
sit
underneath
in
there.
the Season,
I sent her the picture, you know,
yeah,
that's
because
what,
then you're not really,
And the town's got,
her
the
explanation.
town's got a problem with that?
Well, not, it's more than just a problem with the town, it's meeting ordinances and,
yeah,
Oh,
you
okay,
can't just, like, if you're in a house, you can't just modify it without getting permits and all that stuff.
okay.
You know, same for our signs,
Wow, that's really complicated.
Mhm.
a little bit.
For a ridiculous.
Unless we want to redo the whole thing, or.
No,
No,
I
but
mean,
I think
That's what I'm saying.
That's a very inexpensive way of doing it. If
because
you're
you,
allowed-
basically you're only adding on to it, you're not taking it, not making it any bigger.
Right,
It's staying the same thing, it's just that part underneath the bottom of it.
so when they said it exceeds the ordinance, what exceeds the ordinance? I mean, what,
The size.
Size
of
of
the
it.
size of the sign itself for Timberland. So how did it get passed to begin with?
Well, that, you know, I don't know, I can keep digging.
Yeah,
That's
pretty solid.
Something, so it doesn't matter.
But that was the day when they built the place, that's what.
Yeah.
that was 1970.
Yeah, but that's not the same sign from 1970.
But let's, I
Oh,
mean,
it isn't?
we can.
You take it down, Saul, are they?
Use the
What's
same.
that?
If it exceeds it, they're not gonna make you take it down, are
No.
they?
You
No,
already grandfathered.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
But.
All right, I don't
It's
know.
fine, the same size, but reconfigure it, make the
You
the
can't.
logo a little smaller maybe and
no, I think that what he's talking about, the big,
Well,
the sign itself.
let me dig in, let me make sure that she sees the modification we're talking about, and
Okay,
if we're doing modifications from within the sign
Exactly.
rather than outside of it, does that matter?
And we're
So-
just
Because
taking up
basically right
space.
now, the way it is right now, we're just making it into the sign. It's going into the sign.
Right.
Nothing's getting bigger. It's just underneath the sign and that's all it is.
It makes
Maybe she
sense.
doesn't understand that,
Yeah.
so. I'll,
So-
Would be
I'll
a
dig
mess.
in, I'll square. I'll
Should I let them have
that
coffee with it?
Alright.
Talk-
Old business.
Right.
Next.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe she's thinking we're tearing the sign down and making it that way. Just tell her that the piece is going underneath.
Or she thinks it's gonna be another sign.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna- it's gonna be one
Sign.
sign.
Yeah.
And it's not even gonna cost.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, then you can just pick it up at the end of the season and.
What, with hooks type of deal?
Yeah, you can put the hooks underneath.
Long-term planning.
So I come up with a little chart, I'll share it on the screen so Sebby and Mark can see it, but if you wanna pass around.
$20,000 a year.
What?
Oh, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Do you guys see that,
Yes.
Mark and Sebby?
Mark and Sammy, can you do
Yes,
Okay. So I kind of broke down some long-term planning in 3 categories. You got CIP, capital / surplus, and then grants and insurance and all those things. I know you guys have been wanting to talk about it and put something on paper, so this is the start of it, and these are just ideas that came from my head and I just threw it on the chart, so nothing here is obviously concrete, so we're here to talk about it and put some ideas on paper for that everyone has, so. But you figure for CIP, we're working with 60 to 70 a year. Right, and
That's about right, okay.
right,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that, so. I know, you see bunkers there in the top. That's just an option of funding the bunker project. Chairman Noren, myself and finance team has a meeting next week, or we have a meeting next week to talk more about it, so. That could go away, that could stay, that could increase, I'm not real
yeah,
sure,
there's
so.
no priority in those, I mean, one over the other, or.
I mean,
I think that's what we're here to do.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you see priority in years. Right, but that's not concrete.
So
right?
this is a living document, I think.
This is the start of one,
Yeah,
right?
yes, thanks. Very good. So bunkers, like I just said, what came in is not to be shared because they're still waiting for other, one person to, well, at least one other person to get something back to us. Is that correct? So,
Yes, sir.
okay. All right, so that one is kind of open and I am scheduled to sit with Saul, Kevin, Delaney and Jerry Paris next week on Thursday to discuss this. All right, because the bunkers, correct, and how much we're gonna end up spending on this thing and that's still to be decided. Fair enough, is that a fair?
Yeah, I mean, that's where we are.
That's where we're at,
We're
right?
in the bunker process, for an update.
Okay,
That's where we are.
all right. Hole number 2.
You just want to- Insurance isn't gonna cover all the bunkers.
No,
No. And hole number 2,
Wow.
Never does. They're not in the business to lose money, right? Hole number 2, okay, so you think 30 grand will do what you wanna do, Sal?
I mean, it's all ballpark. I mean, I know what we want to do in fall is about 10 grand. And we'll see how that turns out. Cause it could be 1 phase or 2 phases from there, to kill the project, so.
Okay,
Well, what do you wanna do with hole 2?
So hole 2, we wanna, start improving the hitting area, hitting surface from the left. Left first,
side,
first
got it.
cut to, into the tree,
Tree.
Yeah.
into the tree line.
So what's the plan for the fall?
We're gonna re-soil, re-gut, take off the,
All the rocks?
all the rocks.
And, are we
So-
looking at, are we looking at wood chip or something? So not much that you have to maintain it so much, I mean, that would be the easiest
But
way
we
or
don't
something.
want
What's the low term
We
plan?
don't wanna
I
hit
mean, I
balls
think
with
first
it.
thing, you gotta get rid of all those
That's
rocks,
what you're gonna have to do.
and then see if you could re-sod.
Because I don't
If
think
you-
grass will grow there.
You need sun in order for that. the sod to
Well,
grow,
also,
right?
also all the root systems. to-
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
So that's why you gotta.
If you can't get rid of the root systems, that's when you have to do sod,
The
either pine needles
Pine
or
needles,
marsh,
or
or,
pine needles will probably be the best
you
thing
know.
for that, yeah.
so.
Hey, Saul, are we saying that some of this stuff is gonna get done in the second part of 24? Cause it says 25 up there. I thought some of this work was
Well,
gonna start.
FY, the first part of
Fiscal year, fiscal year.
fiscal year 25, that's
I got
technically
it.
this
Okay,
fall,
I
so,
got it. I got it. Yep, I got it.
It starts July 1st.
Yeah.
yeah. So I figure by October, we're gonna start putting that phase 1 on number 2 going, so.
Well, you know what? Once people start seeing that, and they start seeing changes like that happening, then the rate increase won't be a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
Fact, you know,
like you guys said, that's the plan, right? We
Right.
show some value.
that's right. That makes, and
Joe
people
put it out there.
they won't complain, like, you know. So, okay, and I'm okay with, you know, 5, you wanna, and I understand what he wants to do with 5, what, you wanna move that path to the other side, is that that's the whole idea?
Mhm.
Okay,
On 5?
on 5, we go to the next one.
Oh, yeah, you wanna go around?
Now, I think
That
part
would be a
of,
good idea.
part of this is gonna, the onus is gonna fall upon you to reprogram the carts.
Well,
That's huge going forward now.
we have a senior representative that's very important in this group, because a lot of a lot of the recommendations comes from the seniors, right? From, they need to be closer or versus not, right? They put me in a hard position when they asked for a handicap card. So maybe it's time for each club to deem their own handicaps. You and your board, they would go to you guys, and you would say, all right, Mr. X is worthy of a handicap card. If they all, if you leave it, I feel like it's given out too many times, like who deserves a handicap card or not.
I mean, didn't we have to fill out something?
Yeah, there was a whole process on that, but
Note from a doctor or whatever.
I mean,
Well, let's put this way,
90% of seniors have a handicap parking pass.
Right.
So does that mean they're all,
no.
right?
No.
I feel like there's gotta be something else, like,
We came up with a procedure last year for handicap.
Yeah,
Why-
but the thing is, it was too easy to get.
Where Sol's going, and I see this down when I in my part-time gig is, those things are a dime a dozen,
Yeah.
and I see people they have them. And this lady wants to transfer to me from the parking lot in high heel, I was like, no, you know, but the person has, it,
But-
right?
But
So-
that's the process. I mean,
Well, it's being abused, so I think a better way to look at this thing is, listen, handicap or not, I mean, you can't have a cart going so close to a green or somewhere where it's gonna destroy it. And what would you do if you had cart path only on a whole course? What would you do? I mean, no offense, handicap or not.
Or part 3, right?
You're right, yeah, but what would you do?
Yeah.
What would you do? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have the answer, I don't
Yeah.
know the answer, but there are plenty of courses that are car path only, and what are you gonna do? They're handicapped, right? I mean, it's like,
And you're right, Jim, because some people do take advantage of it, because some people are too close to it, I know they're
Right.
too close to the green.
But they don't need to be.
And they don't need to be that close to the green, I mean, I have a bad knee and I got handicap, but I'm not gonna get up on top of a green the way I see where some of these people are on top of it.
So
So
maybe I'll do
maybe
some
you can,
research.
if you can
We'll,
program that.
we'll put
thing.
it on the next meeting.
Right,
And,
But at the same token, we can't have this, the course being destroyed.
well, that,
And
yeah.
that's what's, I know that's what's happening, because people are, they're abusing it, and they're going around in the green and whatever.
Yeah,
And you know what, and then maybe if you find out who's doing, well, you know by Clark who's doing it, right? You already know who's doing it. So guess what? You talk to them, say, listen, here's a warning. This is it, here's 3 warnings, then you're suspended. We've already gone through this stuff. 2 warnings, it's like, boom, you know. The 3rd one, you're done. I don't care what, you know, then you're suspended for a month. You come in front of us, you come in front of us and explain it.
But I'm finding more of the seniors doing that than,
We understand.
no offense to them,
No, it's not.
because,
It's not.
you know, because.
Hey, Sal, have you talked to any
Yeah,
of your
that's not right.
competitors at other courses and what they do?
Well, That's what I just said. I'm gonna do some research and I'll put it on the next meeting. Just so we don't get off topic here.
Yeah, and the other thing too, while we're on the carts, do you have to reprogram them again for the start of this year?
No,
They're already programmed?
they're still there. I could edit them and
Yeah,
stuff,
fine
but
tune it.
yeah, well,
That's what I'm saying. right?
always,
That's
always,
fine.
yeah,
whatever,
always.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
So how are you going to determine who should get a handicap? car?
Well, we'll talk about that next.
Oh,
Saturday.
next week.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be here.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe I can't, maybe I can't do it, you know?
Cart path.
We'll figure it out.
What is that?
In front of the shop where, in front of the starters, you know, that area.
Yeah. And driving range, so you're looking at next fiscal year, your plans for the driving range or whatever they're gonna, I don't know what they're planning on doing up there, but okay. That's fine,
Put 2 more bays in.
Well.
you can't do shanking.
Yeah, you don't
Go ahead
have
and
to
car.
look for that.
So that, well, we do,
You do?
all right. All right, so that's fine.
Hey, Sal, can you send me a copy of that?
Will do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And now it's the capital, you tell me comes out of surplus?
Capital is usually surplus. Or, you know, your request from all the surplus.
Yeah.
So
Baby,
capital is also
you're killing us.
cut like every year and then put into tiers.
Oh, okay, all right, so this is general fund surplus,
No,
not our surplus.
these are more like requests
Oh, okay.
or
Goodness.
future requests.
Got it, okay, I thought that was
But
coming out of.
obviously, the bridges are already ours. I have bridges there twice, sorry, but. The bridges for 50K is already in place. And the 65K is being requested,
Yeah, but you already have that you already have the funds for that,
not the 65K.
but you have it for a dump truck, correct?
Well, that's a CNR fund.
But we're not doing it though.
That's
Yeah, you
35K.
get rid of the dump truck, you're not
Yeah.
doing the dump truck, I thought you were doing the mower now.
We
We're
are.
doing it more.
Is
That
it-
was just passed last night.
this
Okay,
one-
so-
this mower?
So this is another mower?
This would be either for another mower
Okay.
or we put it towards like the bunker project. You know, but the idea is to get that funding though.
Yeah. Got it,
Right.
Finance team or the finance department's fighting for a second mower
got it,
for us, like Jared Paris.
yep, okay.
It's the Ramsey's tent.
That's
Well,
the
not there yet.
outside.
So what are the bridges for 50K?
I mean, that's our capital money from FY 23.
So it's just sitting there,
Yeah, waiting for the bridge project,
okay, so, but that's going
but that's
forward.
in already.
That's already going forward, we don't.
Yeah.
That, the bridges are gonna be. Worked on this year.
Yes,
This fiscal year or next fiscal year?
sometime, I would say sometime between September and February,
Okay,
because they can do it in the winter. They can
Right.
start in the winter.
Yeah.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
They
That would
told us
make more
that.
sense.
Yeah,
okay,
so they won't be.
so you're not disrupting the play of the course.
We were hoping October, November. So.
All right, no problem, okay. Ramsey's 10,
I mean, that's, you know, we could request that. I don't know if we'll get grant, you know. Be given it, but
What is it
So what
for?
are,
the outdoor pavilion,
I know.
so I thought they were looking at, are they all looking to eliminate the tent, or are you looking at Put,
I'm gonna
Well,
permanent structure.
we're looking more for a permanent structure,
like,
but a phased in project.
Yeah.
This is asking more for like
A replacement.
a replacement,
that's the
so,
replacement of the tent itself,
Oh,
until you come up with a plan.
right,
Got it.
yeah.
but
Okay,
at least it's in the
Yeah,
plans.
I understand, that makes sense.
To me, the golf course bathrooms is more important, but I don't know if that's on our budget or facilities.
Should I be in facilities?
They
I don't know,
own-
I have to
they
ask,
own the building.
but if it's on their budget, good luck. It would be faster on our budget probably.
Really,
Well,
what do you wanna do?
priorities for them is not our bathroom.
the bathrooms.
I mean, just any type of renovation for the golf course bathroom.
Yeah.
Y'all have been in there
Well,
more than me. so. I don't go in there.
But,
Ladies,
But from what I can see, out of the downstairs bathroom and the upstairs bathroom, I mean, there's not really much you can renovate.
No, the
I mean-
golf
No, no,
course,
no,
on the course,
Down the court.
Oh.
on the court.
Oh, yeah.
No, not the clubhouse.
To me, instead of having the back, put the potty, what do you call them things out there?
The porta potty?
Potty potties out there, that's even make more, I mean, it's done. Why?
Now,
No, you know what?
it's actually more work, you know,
It
the,
is, it is.
But when you start to think about, we got two bathrooms up there.
Yeah.
Okay, we have two bathrooms, we have the one between what, 5 and,
We don't know where they are, on the front and back,
Right.
yeah, on the front and the back.
so I mean, what's the problem with them? I mean,
No, he's looking at updating them. This is the,
I don't.
we gonna put air conditioning in there?
no, they still, they still
I,
need to work on.
all I know, someone mentioned it in previous meetings that might be something we look into.
Yeah,
Oh, because I
I think
think
it was,
I mean, they're only seasonal bathrooms. You know, that's what I'm saying. You don't wanna spend too much money. I mean, they're only out there for 6 months out of the year.
Jimmy, it's just on paper. This is
yeah,
all-
okay.
this is
all right.
more
No,
for,
it's not written stuff.
Okay,
So do we have any vandalism that goes on in those bathrooms or are we okay with that?
no, we're good.
the only things like dead animals sometimes, but
Okay, all right.
That's it.
Right, because some courses, they give you a code, they put a
Yeah,
lock on.
I'm sorry, I thought you were saying.
but thank God that we don't.
Yeah, that's good.
Dead animals,
Jimmy wants an elongated toilet, right?
I'm never going in there.
You want a bidet?
There's a riser with a.
Yeah,
And a coke machine, right? Right. The rough, you need a rough mower, okay,
Yep,
all right, and that's, listen, that's. This is a living document, I'm sure you're just throwing this down there.
Right.
Clubhouse, 3 million, make that 10,
and
yeah, three's not gonna do anything for you. Because you need to scrape it,
House,
you do, I mean, really, if you're gonna do it, you can do it right.
what do you mean?
I have a
club?
question about the clubhouse. Is. Does the budget? Include like maintenance of the grounds around the clubhouse? It does. Well, I'd like to see either more funds for it or more attention paid to it. I think Ramsey deserves that. I hope, we can give that some attention this year.
that's why you're here, Rob, you know, ideas like that, don't be afraid to bring it up.
I really feel like, you know, it's like the first thing you see as you come into the course is the clubhouse. I think it needs to be, I mean, I don't wanna spend a lot of money, but just.
Attractive.
Aesthetically, it has to be
Yeah.
clean, right?
They have to be cleaned up.
If somebody wants to have a party or
Right.
an event there, you know, they want it to look nice and, you know.
There's no beauty there. There's no
No.
beauty beyond, there's no
Well,
flowers, there's nothing that make it so like somebody would wanna have a party. I mean, people that have a party because they're doing it, but it could be a lot.
Rob, that's nothing new. This has been always an issue up there.
Oh,
Yes, it
Always
is.
had the issue with that.
Well, what is the issue? Is it funding?
The issue is we can't get the people to do to get the work done. Don't have the staff to get the work done.
Well, I think.
Problem
that
is,
needs to-
you know,
they
we
want
got a
people to work.
We have a minimum
Why
amount.
don't we- why don't we
Can I
hire
finish,
a company-
please?
a company?
Can I finish?
Sure.
We don't have
ahead,
a
Sammy.
minimum, okay, thank you. We have a minimum amount of staff up there that's, you know, trying to keep the golf course in good condition. Yeah, do they have time to really clean that place up? To be honest with you, no, they don't. They don't. And if we're gonna do it right, maybe we need to get a subcontractor to come in and work on it. I don't know.
Do a one-shot deal.
Well, I think the town has a problem with non-union help on the course. Okay,
That's correct.
so,
Yeah, they won't allow volunteers.
right, they won't allow volunteers or non-union help, so.
But what he's saying is hire a contractor to come in and knock it out. Like, we have contractors doing work anyway. And they're not union members. We have contractors working on the course right now. So that we could probably have a contractor come in, do around the building, call it a one-shot deal, and then we try to maintain it as much as we can. And that's it, just so we'll do.
But
one
it's not
thing.
gonna be maintained, it's not gonna be maintained, so, I understand what you're saying, you had a comment, Nancy? You were about to say something,
Oh,
or
a
no?
couple of years ago, they allowed volunteers, remember?
Yeah, we did, well, that was a joke, that was a
No,
joke,
but they-
we did,
they did a nice
yeah.
job.
It was a joke, I was part of that group,
Yeah,
and there was nobody running it. We just brought our own tools and
Right.
started, you know. I mean, there should have been someone in charge of it, but.
You surely, you're not the first one to say that the clubhouse and the surrounding areas needs work, so. But since you brought it up recent as now, maybe you wanna walk around in the next couple weeks and show me what you would
I would
like
be
to see.
glad to do that,
so,
you know, and if there's a budgetary problem, I think that should be addressed. you
Well,
know?
we have a budget, we're gonna use the budget.
Yeah.
So, I know, last year we had a smaller budget and there was a point where we planted flowers and, I think it's more of an upkeep and maybe picking better flowers. So we'll walk around the
I'll help you
clubhouse
with that, so I'll
and,
I'll walk around
and we'll
with
go
you.
from there.
All right,
The
appreciate
the
that.
garden club would be more than willing.
Yeah, well, I think they did the front of the pro shop.
And-
another,
but they don't take advantage of that.
Yeah.
another option is, and, we looked into it in the fall, is, we coined this expression, summer help. Well, the contract doesn't say it has to be summer help,
Mhm.
it just allows you to have so many part-time employees.
For certain days.
So, correct, so that could be it throughout the whole season.
Mhm.
It's, the only limitation you have is with your budget, a big deal. You never spend your budget anyway, so why not hire some now? Right, I mean, just put it out there. So I'll hire you now for a couple months, whatever, and do other stuff the cleanup work that has to be done. I mean, that's just it's another way of looking at this thing. So you always have staff on hand. It's not that you have to hire them for these 2 or 3 months. No, I can hire them year round. But you just rotate them in and out. Who cares? And you're limited to whatever you're limited to, how many hours per week, right? Or so many hours. You're limited to this
It's
many.
more like, how many days they work,
Whatever.
like 120 days.
Yeah, whatever it is, and you know what's up, but I'm looking at this, you could have, 5 people work 120 days, and then another 5 people work another 120 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, so you've got, a stable of 20 different people. Right. That are working, right, I mean, that's another way of looking at this thing, and it's within the union contract. It's not saying that you can only hire these kids, these people for X number of days, no, that's not what it's saying. It's saying that you can't have more than that,
Mhm.
right? And then once they reach those hours, then fine, whatever, but you're not limited on the number of hours, it's in total. You know what I mean? That's how I look at this thing.
So going back to what you're saying, let's maybe come up with that idea and bring it around and get around the clubhouse. Because I think that does need a lot of attention. And I mean, the course right now it looks good, but I think the clubhouse, that needs to have a lot of attention to it right now. A lot of.
But when you have priorities on the course, you have priorities on the course.
Yeah,
Just
right.
understand
Yeah,
that.
right. Understand. And listen, they've done a great job. They're doing a great job cleaning it up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You know what? And I walked in with Jimmy the other day, like, because he wanted to walk him off a cliff because he wanted to open it up. I was like, no, well, there's low in the water, right? But I will say this, the pine cones were everywhere, right? And they did a great job of picking them up, and there's no other way. And they're blowing it to a pile and picking them up because there's no other way to pick that stuff up, right? It is. And I'm being honest, they did a great job with that. So,
Yeah, but I think right now, focusing around the clubhouse, because it's really bad.
Yeah,
well. It's
You know,
priorities, that's all,
It's-
the clubhouse is so dark inside. Why, would it help if they painted it a light color?
mean,
I mean, it's.
look at what they did to the golf shop. I think just in painting and lighting and flooring and
Dark,
changed, so.
these brown, blinds. I mean,
Well, there's those big overhangs outside, you know, it doesn't let any sunlight in.
but I said, even if the room was bright,
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
you make it all
change the
brown,
lighting.
dark.
I'll say,
You know?
maybe we change the lighting and paint color,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
think that would.
Yeah, just the paint job inside would improve it.
Yeah, I mean, not gonna hurt.
You want me to just stop in, Sal?
Let's set up a day, yeah,
Or you wanna set up a day?
yeah, and then,
Alright, what works for you? I'm retired.
I'll email you.
Okay.
Alright.
Probably not tomorrow, though.
It's
I just.
I
Tell
like
me
No.
that I'm available.
Any day.
that.
sometime next week, I'll email you,
Anything else along
this week for next.
Put it this way, can we have everybody take a look at this thing?
Sure.
And add to it, some of your thoughts, don't even put costs down or anything, but what you're thinking as far as, what you like to see happen over the next, and think about this in about and it's good that he has this thing, but I'd go even further, you're looking at 135, you really wanna go out 10 and even 20, we'll be dead, right? 25, 30 years from now, let's call it what it is, so, well, you'll be dead, you guys will be dead,
No,
I'll still be alive.
I would-
What?
You know what I said. You look 30 years, you'll be dead.
Oh, I will. be.
I know.
Yeah.
But look
No, I
long
think
term
it's
like this thing.
fun to me.
Get in line.
United spirit.
Get in line. So I mean, that's another way of looking at this thing. We really have to look long term, and it's not written in stone, but you have something, you have a document here. And you're probably, like Saul was saying, your priorities gonna change, and depending on what happens, right? So at least you have something down there, and this is the format and thought process going forward.
Saul, what were you thinking of doing to the bunkers? I mean, what was the plan to renovate them or
So right now, we're trying to do a repair,
repair?
a full repair of all the bunkers.
What does that entail?
New irrigation system, new sand, new concrete material,
Oh,
new
really?
edging, new sod. New
Wow,
everything.
that's a big deal.
Yeah,
Do it one time,
yeah.
get it done.
Yeah, we're right.
Didn't the bunkers get done like 5 years ago, 8 years ago?
Maybe 15 years ago.
That long?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, yeah, something like that.
Why is it that the clubhouse only has money allocated? After 2030, the
It's-
$3,000, what is that?
The 3 million.
Yeah,
That's
we're
the
we're
zero there.
changing it to,
Sorry.
we're changing it to 10 million.
That's the 10 million.
Yeah, 10 million.
That's what's gonna
And the timing of that is just there because I don't know when it's really gonna happen. So,
Is that 3 million for a new clubhouse?
he's thinking 10 million.
Well, by then.
Well, really, that's what's gonna cost you, right? I mean, let's just call it what it is. So you might as well think about.
As a group, do we have priorities
No.
in this?
No, no.
This is gonna, we're
Just
just gonna go through the count.
No, everything through the town, but you just, listen, at least you have something documented.
Yes,
that
I-
you're looking
I
at.
understand.
Like, the point is like when, in 5 years, when you have different commission members, you're still doing the same plan,
things, Right.
right?
Gotcha.
So,
It's down there, right? That's how you look at this thing. Perfect. And a cart barn, we understand everybody understands what we're looking at with this, and rough, we have a 5-year lease on our carts. But we're looking at electric carts after this is done.
Well,
And something to think, just hear me out, but if you're looking at electric carts, at least you can have, or you need a barn.
You need
so
a
at least
barn
have
for that.
GPS, right on the screen. That's what we're so far behind the times with that stuff. That's what we're.
but like I said, if we do do the electric cart, where the carts are now, we'll probably leave it up there.
Well,
It would be
we
the smart
don't
thing.
even know where it's gonna be.
Well, that
We're not
would-
even there yet, but
No,
it's just.
but it has to be endorsed.
It have to be
Yeah.
indoors, and
Correct.
that's the only spot you could really put it, cause now, you don't wanna have them way down, like years ago,
No.
we used to have them way down the bottom, you had to bring them up. No, you want everything right on point.
Well, and there's a lot of reconfiguration that has to happen.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna make it's gonna make.
Not a lot of room for that.
Now, there's
Yeah,
nothing.
there's a lot of them there.
But it has-
Where the carts are right now, where the carts are right now, you could make all that, like, you could build that into a shed. You
Well,
can build that in.
then you're talking solar, I mean,
You can put solar. You can use
There's
solar
many
too.
options.
There's options there.
You know, it's just the timing is in a couple of years.
Exactly.
But you have to start thinking about this now.
Right.
Actually, some of the surpluses, we have to start
Which,
allocating to that, and thinking about that.
That's true.
That's for your education, all right? About that.
Okay, yep.
All right, good.
Oh, I'm here to listen in.
Oh, good. We gotta bring it to speed.
You know, once in a while I throw something in there, that's all I'm trying to do.
All right.
That's all right.
And you know, so we'll take care of that on our end, so we'll give you some other stuff.
Yeah.
on there, and that you have it, and then we'll go from there. Fair enough, and then we can just kind of play with it, you know, what's prioritized and what's not prioritized, right?
maybe in after our next meeting, we could have like a draft on it and post it for the public to see
Fair enough. Actually,
for the
yeah.
season.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. All right, P and L. We're not making any money yet, but we will.
We started to.
Thanks for this, Sal. This is,
Yeah.
very helpful.
I'll email to you, Sevi and Mark.
Thank you.
So we're in the hole, about a buck 72, right? 172 versus 110. Yeah, okay, that's. Yeah, here. So. But that's, you know, listen, we know what's gonna end up happening, right? The questions start opening up yet, right? This is through February, so.
That's
That's through February, right? This is through February, yeah. All right, okay, so money's starting to come in.
Copy from.
Or do you want to look on?
There was this was in the email.
That writing's too small. I didn't bring my reading glasses. So next time.
That was in the email.
I didn't know I was gonna have to read.
You don't
Put
have
on
to,
this one.
we need some.
We know.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing else to really go through, you know. It is what it is, right? So you already bought your fertilizer for the year, you good with that? For this fiscal year? Fine,
We bought some, I think we may still need some, we're gonna purge this next couple weeks
got it,
and go from there.
all right. Are
With the
you,
chemicals we pay for.
yeah. Yeah, are you using, generics, or what are you doing?
Right now, our budget's allowing us to use brand name, and we like the guarantees we get brand name.
Yeah,
Until, you know, the budget tells us we have to lower it, then we'll start looking at generics, but. Generics are just tough, you know, you don't know what you're gonna get, and sometimes they don't even come out
Really?
very well. So,
For real?
wow.
To me, that's a priority, to keep those
Yeah.
greens and those fairways nice.
That's
as
the
long
course.
as
Where your
we,
income comes.
Yeah.
as long as our budget could afford the chemicals that we use, we're gonna keep using them.
Okay. Any questions on the P and L? I can't believe I don't have a question on it, but I don't, so
I can't believe it either.
you're like. She's already coming back to haunt me.
Yeah, I'll have to study that for
Yeah.
next time.
All right. Open discussion,
Yeah.
resident rate,
The way.
This, I probably should just erase that, but
Oh.
I just want to make sure, I'm
hold on,
ready
everybody, hold on.
for someone to get a.
Hold
Who
on.
sends those out?
Hey,
You?
One person.
You have my email?
Well, explaining to
Yes.
you how we can get. them.
I sent it to you,
Okay.
go ahead, Saul.
If someone is staying at a resident's place, he's not a resident,
That's correct,
okay, just making sure,
Oh,
they're staying at a residence place, no,
or house, yeah.
no,
and they-
no.
They're in the process of buying, so.
So when they buy
Then
in
they're-
Berlin and pay taxes, they're a resident, okay?
So that's really,
So when you say that's the rate
for season pass.
for season pass, so basically, let me put it this way. So if you had a house and somebody was renting, would they be considered as a,
A renter, what
An official renting
Yeah.
contract,
yeah, well, yeah.
well, if I rent in town, I'm also paying taxes.
That's correct, you're paying taxes in
No,
town.
but if you,
Well,
not,
no, no.
if you're renting, you're not
Rent
paying,
from a
if you,
landlord?
yeah, you're landlord, you're not renting
Yeah,
now.
but you have a car registered here, right?
Yeah, you're paying
Like,
tax.
bring a water bill.
Okay, yeah,
Oh, yeah, if you show proof of that.
Yeah, or your driver's license.
right, and that you live in town,
They're very-
okay,
Right.
that's right, that's just, yeah, okay.
Your address should be. like-
To be that, okay. So basically, somebody's saying because I stay with this person, I should get, you can't do it.
No.
Just because
Because
you're there now.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay,
So if you-
that's great. Sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, but it's being recorded. It's being recorded, it'll be right there.
I know.
I have a friend who was not a resident, but he owned commercial property in town.
And he said,
Yeah.
okay, and the resident, well, that's.
That's why.
Pay at least $1,000.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
T sign account. So what are we gonna do with the T signs, people?
Right now, it's at 0.
What do we do with the T signs? Are we looking to sell those things again or what? I mean, that was a big push that we had.
I think until you sell all of them, you can't ask people to re-up.
Exactly.
Well,
Does that
you,
make
you
sense?
can.
I wasn't here for all that.
You can,
but
you
that's-
can, and that's what we said. Mark, let's go back into this. I'm getting.
He said, yeah.
You got it.
Jim, I'm gonna abstain from this just because I am a donor for a T sign. So,
Right on.
you know, I think that the clock has to go up before you do anything. That's my only opinion. You know, is the clock's not up yet. So
All right, so the clock will be up within. the
don't
next
ask me for
2
more
months.
money.
In 2 months, that clock's gonna be up and we're gonna have to look at this thing again. And say, listen, you know what, the signs are, COVID kind of put a dip on everything and it has, and they've been up there and originally when we did this thing. That was to be for a 2-year process, right? You were given 2 years. With the sign, because you originally bought this thing, right? It was,
They got a deal.
and that's what it was, so, and then going forward. We just have to figure out a rate that we're gonna do, and that's really what it comes down to. If you still want to sign, then fine, if you don't, then it comes down, right? Cause that's how they were,
And you sell it again.
yeah,
Right.
right, and that's what we all agreed upon when those things first went up, that's
That's right. I thought Gail had mentioned something. She was gonna look into this.
Okay.
Talk to some people about.
Okay.
selling the signs.
All right. CIP, go ahead, I'm sorry, Jim. No,
This, yeah,
CIP, you have, basically, 30,000 in comp, 36 there. So you have basically $6,500 right now. And that's gonna go up once people start playing, so you already know what you wanna do with that stuff, correct, for this fiscal year, or what are you gonna do with?
We usually keep like around 5 in the beginning. just-
Yeah, right now, well, that's it.
So,
Okay.
but the coverages are scheduled work.
Yeah.
Car packing 16, the scope of service for the. bridge.
Okay, fine, I'm sorry, okay,
And, and I think that's it.
okay,
Those,
all right, fine.
So now that the course is open, we're gonna.
yeah, we're gonna start.
Okay, you're sorry, that's gonna increase
Starting
all the
tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
You think,
Yeah. You think it's right.
Someone's.
Joe, yeah, Jimmy will do that.
Well, Sebby's not,
You can have him.
Sebby already done.
so you already backed out. Okay, golf club report, well, listen, do we need to go, in all honesty, has everybody read the reports?
Yes.
Right, that's, Mark, that's why I asked you for that, because somebody asked me for that report. Is there anything that you guys wanna highlight on, Saul, is there anything you wanna highlight in your report?
I'll just pass around the maintenance schedule for
You
April.
also get one from-
Look at you, baby.
Nothing,
Yeah, I'll
just still getting the courts ready.
Probably some of them.
Trying to catch up
It probably is. I didn't know to look for it.
with those, like on number 10, what do you call that for the John Wissigo? Oh, these tree donations.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to catch up on. But we're trying to get the 10 up, but I feel like that's early, like last year was like May 1, but.
Because he had something,
Yeah.
originally had a party, he had a party, they didn't want, they were even
Yeah, they
doing.
don't have it. And you wouldn't have to rush it.
Renzi. He's booked one, so I'm gonna try and get up, but it doesn't work.
I'm sorry.
Did
you get with it?
There's 2 right here,
Thank you.
but that's,
So how about traps, and raking of traps and things like that?
oh, sorry, that was in March. That was, didn't happening now,
They're pretty good.
Okay.
Sometimes it's 12.
well, question mark, gonna try to, cause usually it's later, right now.
So cut fairways, I mean, so. Is that a weekly thing, is that every day? No,
No,
I
it
don't,
starts,
oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
yeah,
Yeah,
it starts.
So are we gonna start thinking about putting the stem? The speed?
Yeah, I talked to Jerry about it.
Yeah,
We'll start with the weekends. And where we're gonna put it is in an A-frame board right in front of the starter shed,
perfect,
like
so
information.
you already know the speed, okay,
Yeah, if you wanna know that it's a speed of 7 for the day.
Yeah.
Velcro. We can have a lot of fun with this thing.
What is it? I don't know.
That's what
At the speed of the green.
The speed of the green.
Yeah.
On the step meter.
12 is the fastest.
Yeah.
You can
Oh, it is?
tell?
12 is like,
Really? I just played. 12.
13,
So they're gonna
Is-
tell
is
us.
it-
Not-
13, 14?
I,
14.
anything over that is like
Ridiculous,
this,
yes.
putting on tail.
12.6.
You want to play 6 hour rounds? Go ahead. 6 hour
Right,
rounds. You
right.
have them at 13. Nah,
Have everybody 5 putt.
So the April,
9's a good speed.
Yeah, but we hope for like
yeah, cause
9,
9.
9-10.
They were quick at the end of last year. I thought they were
Yeah.
quick. What
9
were they?
and firm, 9 and firm.
Nine
That's what we're going.
What's the
No,
word
yeah, I was-
that you use?
I was thinking
Uh,
about
step-
the April.
A step meter.
Stunt?
I
Stunt?
think it's STIMP, STIMP.
STIMP is what it's.
So there's gonna be a sign at the starter shack?
It's in writing, like
Oh.
STIM meter 9,
Okay,
yeah.
And then when it says 12, everybody will just go back and leave.
Whatever. Let them try. All right, so this is actually a good start. I mean, it's the first time we've ever seen, this is what some of the things I've been looking for.
Yeah.
Obviously, these things will evolve as we go, but
Yep.
any questions from the golf course report?
No, actually, I read yours, I read Mark's too.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I thought about it. Mark, I did. Shoot.
You know, that's when the fourth down.
Um,
we have that.
Yeah, do you have a time? I did, on the golf course report, I got a
Yeah.
couple questions.
yeah,
That's like-
okay.
Bridge update, what is the timeline for this, the bridges? Is what I'm trying to.
Oh, right now, there's 2 things we're waiting for. Actually, I have it right here. It's from Deep, it's 2 permits. One is something engineer. One is the flood management certificate form from Deep. Because all the bridges are in the floodplain,
Yeah,
and then we need a Corps of Engineer permit.
so how does that happen? Those-
Right now, Atlas, I'm sorry, Cardinal Inc. We hired them for the 7,500 to get all these permits.
Good.
We had our kickoff meeting this morning and it sounds like it's gonna take, they told us to be patient. So
That's
we
not a
asked
good
them,
sign.
do they think we'll break ground this year? They said probably closer to the end than,
Well, it's better off anyways, because we got to play, we got play going.
Yeah, you won't,
Yeah,
you won't disrupt.
You don't want
that.
guys up
Exactly.
there,
and they can
they don't
also,
have to be.
they can also do it in the winter, so.
Right, they go with all
Okay.
the wrong.
So it's all about permits and getting past that with Deep.
Yep. Okay, and then the bunker, well, the bunker, it wasn't put out the bid, but you requested, okay, so that answered some of my things. Okay, got it. And we're meeting on Thursday. And I'll keep everybody abreast of what's happening there. Perfect. And Mark, I read yours too. And I don't have any other questions. Anybody, does anybody?
I just want to highlight something in mine. We're making progress in the high school sign. The plan is to unveil it on April 1st at 3 p.m. Weather permitting. So definitely like to invite everybody from the commission if you can make it. That'd be great. But we're on course to finish that and then unveil it April 1st at 3. So
Okay,
Awesome.
love to have if you're
Yep.
there if you can make it. And I think it's gonna look great.
I'll be away.
Oh, shucks.
well,
I should be around.
I'll tell you, taking that tree down,
The tree is done.
amazing how open it, and I saw it this morning. how
Right
open it
now,
is.
but let's see how it is after this,
Yeah,
you know, but I don't think the sign will change that.
It's not gonna change.
No,
That thing was very, it was a beehive. The bees.
See where we put it?
oh, really?
no, you read,
No, where'd you put it at?
You guys farted out.
I hope you didn't.
So,
put it outside Mark's window. Did you?
so what's the date of the
Eat John's
clock?
tree.
Huh?
Sorry, Teddy,
Yeah, what's the date of the clock being installed?
Gail, when you updated myself and Chairman Doran yesterday, and what you say, mid-April,
Mid-April, mid-May, May, I think it was May.
mid-May?
I sent that to you guys.
Yeah,
so
I sent it to everybody.
Okay.
She's just
Alright.
waiting on the plaque.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
Okay,
And what time's the opening ceremonies tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, who's hitting the ball?
Are you hitting one, Mark?
Mark, you hitting one?
Come on.
Is
what-
that
I don't know, it's supposed to be 31 degrees. I'm getting old. I don't know. I don't want to hurt myself.
Can we do it next?
You're
Um,
going into the official opening next week, even though this is your softball opening, we'll do it one next week. Can you
Yeah.
guys call somebody from the news or something like, I mean, Howie does it all the time, right? They always show up, you know, it's like a gala event.
Howie's a celebrity.
Yeah, well, so are you, right?
Mark's a celebrity, his favorite show.
I think their mayor's a celebrity, so there you
Mark,
go.
Cover for him, huh?
Mark, you got your cousin on Channel 8, right?
We'll at least have
Hey,
Mark.
hey, listen, Stanley Golf Course has the mayor go down there. They have the director of Park and Rec, and they all hit a ball.
No, we have
And
the
you know what? The
director of
back nine, hold on, the back nine tavern gives out free donuts and coffee. I mean, if you guys want to put together a party like that, I'd gladly help.
Who's paying?
But calling them, having the mayor come down, there's no big deal.
What time did you say?
What day?
Probably 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Let's do it on a Friday, though.
You wanna do one next Friday?
Next, on a Friday.
You can do it next
Supposed to
Friday.
rain, it's supposed to rain next week.
No, it's not.
Guys, look at,
It's-
did you guys look at the extended forecast?
Good Friday.
Supposed to rain. It's supposed to rain like the end of the week.
Yeah, no, it's Good Friday, but you wanna, you know.
So are they doing anything
No,
tomorrow?
next Friday's gonna be
We
54.
have, actually, we do.
Mark, are they doing
on the
anything?
course.
We
You know, and social media is great to a point, but on the news, I mean, that's even better, it really is.
I hear a lot of courses when I drive in from the radio. Like Stanley did one last year, Blizzard's on this year.
Yeah, Routledge.
Can we talk, we would have to talk to the mayor to come down. And so let's talk and see if we can get him to come down next Friday.
That's Good Friday, so no, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
not
that's
gonna-
Good Friday. They don't even
Maybe
work.
Wednesday,
Wednesday or Thursday.
But mayor was there last year.
He was there on a Saturday.
Well, if you're looking at Wednesday,
Right.
Thursday, he ain't
Right.
there, but it's
he
raining.
was there for the range open.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, see, it's raining
Right,
for
he was there for the
On
rain.
Wednesday,
Wednesday and
That's
Friday,
long
Wednesday and
range.
Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday, there's rain in
Yeah.
the forecast.
but you'll have a hard time getting people to go there and.
Exactly, so now that you do it, now that you do that Monday, because it's gonna be
April
52,
first,
it's gonna be
That's April
52
Fool's Day.
degrees.
that's all right, you can do it on April Fools.
Okay.
Well,
All
the
right,
time's going in at 3 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
yes.
So Saul, are we saying nothing tomorrow?
Say that one more time, Seven?
no,
No opening ceremonies tomorrow?
Yeah,
We
Mark's,
really didn't have one planned.
Oh. Not tomorrow.
No,
I mean,
I could,
you're not gonna have the crowd tomorrow with the
Right.
weather being so cold.
and in part, you would have to broadcast it, get it out to everybody. So why don't we,
so
do it in the
I'll
weekend?
start broadcasting one for Wednesday.
Right,
Okay,
We'll put it out on
Right.
social media.
Okay.
ask the mayor.
Yeah.
And then there's a time and we'll go. All right, all
okay, I enjoyed.
right, it is 7:37. We have a
You already-
Jimmy Green makes the motion to adjourn, seconded by Nancy Berger, 7:37, we are done.
Thanks, guys. See you March 7th.
Thank you.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
all right.
Okay.